The night my world ended, it wasn't with a bang, but with a whisper. I stood outside our bedroom door, the expensive oak cool against my forehead, listening to the woman I'd loved for a decade murmur into her phone. The sound was faint, a soft coo that I hadn't heard directed at me in years. She giggled, a girlish, private sound that made my stomach clench. Then she said it, the two words that shattered everything. "Good night, Daddy." I froze, my hand hovering over the doorknob. It wasn't my name. I backed away from the door, the hallway stretching into a dark, endless tunnel. In that single, sickening moment, the life I knew was over. I just hadn't realized a new, colder one was about to begin. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. Her name was Chloe. We had the perfect life, or so I thought. What? A beautiful brownstone in Chicago's Lincoln Park, 2 blocks from the zoo. The loving woman I married was replaced by a defensive, irritable stranger. Chloe grew colder, more manipulative. She'd start fights over nothing, twisting my words until I was the one apologizing. She'd call me paranoid, insecure. That night, something inside me broke. The love, the hurt, it all curdled into something else, something hard and cold. I went into my home office, closed the door, and wept. Not for her, but for the man I used to be. When the tears stopped, a quiet, chilling resolve took their place. If she wanted to destroy our life, I would simply beat her to it, but I would do it my way. I hired a private investigator, a gruff ex-cop named Miller. I told him I needed everything: photos, videos, recordings, hard, undeniable proof. Miller was efficient. Inside were photos of Chloe and Marcus holding hands as they walked along the lakefront, kissing in the back of a taxi. There were pictures of them entering the peninsula, his arm wrapped possessively around her waist. Marcus was a senior partner at her firm. Of course he was. He was older, wealthy, with a predatory smile. The next 6 months were my masterclass in deception. To Chloe, I was the perfect, contrite husband. Apologized for my paranoia. I bought her flowers. I suggested couples counseling, which she smugly dismissed. I played the part of a broken man trying to win back his wife's affection. All the while I was building my case, I met with the best divorce lawyer in Chicago, a shark named Helen Reed. I laid out the evidence, the photos. It's a financial record showing Chloe had been using a joint savings account money I had earned to fund her affair. Helen's eyes lit up. "This isn't a divorce, Mr. Hayes," she said, a grim smile on her face. "This is a demolition. We planned every step and legally separated our finances, moving my assets into protected accounts. I documented every lie, every manipulation. I had a full psychological profile of her affair, all backed by Miller's evidence. The trap was set for Chloe's 35th birthday. She wanted a huge party, a celebration of her success. She booked a private room at a swanky rooftop bar on Wacker Drive, inviting all our friends, family. She wanted to show everyone how wonderful her life was. I agreed to it all, the perfect, doting husband. I even gave a speech. I stood up, champagne flute in hand, and talked about our 10 years together. I spoke of love, trust, and partnership. Chloe beamed, soaking in the applause. Marcus stood near the back, looking smug. My hands weren't shaking anymore. And to celebrate this milestone, I continued, my voice steady. I've put together a little video. A tribute to my incredible wife. A large screen behind me flickered to life. Chloe's face, smiling from the screen, appeared. The first few photos were of us, happy in our early years. Then a picture of her and Marcus holding hands. The room fell silent. Photo after photo flashed on the screen, them kissing, them checking into the hotel. The final image was a crystal clear shot of them through a restaurant window, her hand on his, laughing intimately. I didn't have to look at Chloe. I could feel the heat of her humiliation burn across the room. I turned to face her. Her face was a mask of white-hot fury and disbelief. Marcus was already trying to slip out the back. "Oh, and Marcus," I said, my voice echoing in the dead quiet. "And misuse of company funds to your firm's board of directors and to your wife." He froze, his face ashen. I placed my wedding ring on the table next to the birthday cake. "Happy birthday, Chloe," I said softly. Then I turned and walked out, leaving the wreckage of her perfect life smoldering behind me. Our friends, seeing the cold, hard proof, sided with me. She was socially and professionally ruined. In the divorce, thanks to the evidence of her using our joint funds for the affair and the pre-planned financial separation, she got almost nothing. She had to sell her designer clothes and move into a small apartment in a less desirable part of the city. I never saw her again, but I heard she left Chicago, trying to escape the ghost of the life she burned to the ground. Sometimes, late at night, in the quiet of my now empty house, I think about that whisper I heard through the door. It wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the birth of the man I am now, the one who learned that the quietest goodbyes are often the most brutal. The house is still too quiet, even a year later. The end.